Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. This year I have 8 children who are being homeschooled, and it will be 8 children again next year. But instead of doing one video showing all the curriculum for all 8 kids, I actually took a poll on YouTube and also on Instagram asking if people would prefer for me to break it up into groups or to do one big video for all 8. And by and large, everyone chose that I break it up into groups, with just a few who wanted me to do it all together. And for me, actually, it's going to be easier that way as well, because when I am homeschooling my 8 children, I do break them up into 3 groups anyway. So today I'm going to share with you what I am using with my first group, my group that I call my littles, and next year they will be in 1st and 3rd grade. So if you have never been to my channel before, one thing that I really want to point out, and I point this out at the beginning of all of my curriculum videos, if not all of them, most of them at least, that I am a relaxed homeschooler. You are never going to come here for a curriculum video and find that each of my kids has 7 or 8 separate textbooks that they are learning from. You will not find that here. I am a firm believer in holistic learning. I am a firm believer in unit studies, and I am a firm believer in a lot of unschooling philosophies. Are we unschoolers? No, we are not. I wouldn't have curriculum to show you if we were unschoolers. But I do believe enough in self-directed learning, interest-led learning, delight-directed learning, whatever you want to call it, that I do try to integrate it as much as possible into our homeschool routine. But I am going to show you what I have for my 1st and 3rd graders next year. So, for phonics, they are both going to be using Adventures in Phonics. These books we have been using for years. I absolutely love them. Now, there is a teacher's manual that you can use with these. I do not use the teacher's manual because I simply have my kids just do one page at a time. I am not one who is really big on teacher's manuals, just because I think that a lot of times they add busy work. They just give additional work, and it kind of makes it almost like a drill and kill thing for the kids a lot of time. So Adventures in Phonics, so yeah, they are using them this year already. Summer, she's in 2nd grade now. She'll be in 3rd next year. She's just finishing up level A. So she will be the one who is going on to level B. And Kenzie, my kindergartner, she actually already started this one. I just bought it a few months ago, and she was so excited when she saw it that she didn't want to wait until next year. So she did start doing this now already. She's only at the very beginning of it though. Now, in addition to Adventures in Phonics, my 1st grader next year will also be starting Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. Yes, my old mangled up book that we have used for years now, and it has taught several of my kids how to read. So you might be thinking, am I going to be using Adventures in Phonics right alongside of Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons? I will be using it alongside of them, but I will never have her doing both of them on the same day. What she will be doing is the same thing that Summer, my 2nd-year-old, is doing this year. She will be doing phonics one day, and then the next day she will be doing Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. It's just alternating back and forth. Because what I have found with my children is that Adventures in Phonics is a great way for them to learn how to spell words. So I almost use it as a spelling book as well. I don't test on it or anything, but it's a great way for them to learn. I see this is not focusing. It's a great way for them to learn how to spell certain words. It's a great way for them to learn how to do fill in the blank for sentences right here. But I found that it has not helped my kids to learn how to put sounds together as well as Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons can. The reason that I do not use just Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons on its own is because, again, it doesn't have really any writing in with it. Yes, they do tell you to have your child practice writing certain letters at the end of each lesson, but it's not enough writing that I think is going to help kids learn to write certain words. So I think that the two of them together they're a really great combination. Now for spelling, my kids will be using Natural Speller, which of course I forgot to bring over here to the table for my video, but I did do a review on Natural Speller. So I will link that in the description box below if you would like to see more about Natural Speller. Now with Natural Speller, it comes with different activities that you can do with your kids. I do not do any of the activities in Natural Speller. I know that a lot of people like the activities because there are a lot of choices in Natural Speller. But for me, I really have an aversion to making our homeschool look like a traditional school. I just try to stay away from that as much as possible. And so most of the activities in that book seemed a bit too schoolish for me. So what I do is I just use the lists. I assign each of my kids 10 words a week from the Natural Speller list for their corresponding grade level. And I just have them write those words 3 times each every day for a week, and then they just get new words on Monday. And that is how we use Natural Speller, and it is working wonders. You might be wondering, am I doing spelling tests with them? No, I have not found that it's necessary at all. My kids are learning just through doing the 3 times each every day. I can see in their writing, I can see when they are just playing and drawing pictures and making sentences when we're not doing school. So far I have seen that no spelling tests are actually required. They're not required, at least for my kids. I already know how well my kids are able to spell just by watching how they are doing, as they're writing other things. So anyway, moving on to math. I should also point out, at this stage of the game, I'm not doing grammar with my kids either. Not in 1st and 3rd grade. Grammar is one of those things that it does not take 10 years for kids to learn about grammar. So I think that it is more important that you get your kids' reading skills down, let them learn to read fluently, get their writing skills down, and worry about grammar later when they're older. Because if they are reading enough with you or without you, depending on how well their skill level is, they're not going to need grammar at this stage of the game. They're really not. One thing that I forgot to mention is since Summer is working in Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons this year, and that is she's in 2nd grade now, so she's my 2B 3rd grader. She's about halfway done with it this year, and I'm not going to continue it with her next year. She's ready to just stop doing it right now. She's fluent, so she can actually get regular books and she can read them to me. She has chosen to keep doing it just because she likes it, but we will not be continuing this with her next year. So for her next year, what I'm thinking that I'm going to do is just have her do this Adventures in Phonics every single day because there is so much spelling and writing skills involved in it. And then I'm going to have her read aloud to me every single day from just a regular book. And I'm not an easy reader or not, like a reader that comes with a workbook, actual books that she picks out at the library. That's what she'll be reading to me. Okay, now math. They are using Abeka Math this year, and they will be using Abeka Math next year. So Summer is on Arithmetic 2 this year. So next year she will be starting Arithmetic 3. And I really, really love the spiral-based approach to math. I like that they cover different math areas in each lesson rather than just doing, say, like 40 multiplication problems. They might do, for example, here they have Roman numerals, and then they have day, hours, foot, inches. They have addition and subtraction. They have multiplication. So what they do though is they do that every year. So they have built-in review each and every day, and I think that's really nice. So that is what we're going to be doing. Now, what I have found with Arithmetic 3 is that once it gets up to this level, it does start to, at times, get a drill and kill feel. I know this because I have another daughter who is in 3rd grade this year, and I'll be showing her curriculum in my next video because she's in my middles group. So I have experience with this arithmetic 3, and yeah, it does kind of get drill and kill every once in a while. So what I usually do is I will just pick out a few problems. I will pick out a few problems on each page for my daughter to do, and that's the same thing that I'm going to be doing with Summer as well. So Kenzie actually was, again, she was really excited about starting Abeka Math, and I actually got her Arithmetic 1 at the beginning of this year because even though Kenzie is in 1st grade this year, the kindergarten book that I saw for Abeka, it just looked too easy. It looked like the things that she was doing last year. It was all things that she already knew. I wish my camera would focus better when I hold this up, but it was all stuff that she knew, so I started her already on Arithmetic 1. So she's just going to continue working on this Arithmetic 1 book because she's not going to have it done this year. Because while with my other kids who are doing Abeka, like Summer who's in 2nd grade and is doing Arithmetic 2 this year, she does both sides of a page every day. So that's what Summer does every day. Kenzie, since she is little, she's only kindergarten, I have her doing a 1st grade book. I just have her do one side. She just does one side of a page each day. So she's not going to finish it, so we're just going to continue Abeka Math for next year. We love Abeka Math up to 3rd grade. And I will say it in the next video, and I'll say it now. Once we get beyond 3rd grade and move into 4th, I really prefer CTC Math because the 4th grade is even more of the drill and kill method, and as a relaxed homeschooler, that is something that I really want I want them to avoid that. I want my kids to enjoy math, and they still don't even always enjoy math. But, you know, if your children are sitting and crying as they are doing their work, they're not going to be retaining things. So that is really important to me. So that is why I think Abeka is fantastic up through grade 3. Beyond that, though, that is when I move on to ctcmath.com, and we really like that. And again, I will be talking about that in the next video. So, what else? We are a big unit study family. So, what I have planned so far for next year is we have been leisurely working through Around the World with Picture Books, Part 1 by Beautiful Feet Books. And so, and by leisurely, I mean that since my kids are only in kindergarten and 2nd grade this year, I don't feel that kids at this age need to be sitting and doing school for 4 or 5 hours a day. I realize that at this stage of the game, they are still learning the most through play. So that is what I mean by we're working through it at a leisurely pace. So this is taking us longer than it would if we would do it like every single day. So right now we are learning about Australia in this book. And so the places that you learn about in this book are China, Japan, Thailand, India, Antarctica, Australia, Morocco, Egypt, Tanzania, and Kenya, and Ghana. And so we are up to Australia so far. Once we finish with this, and I'm sure that it's going to take us into next year, which is why I'm showing you now, then we are going to move into Case of Adventure unit studies, which I have done Case of Adventure unit studies with my older children, except the ones that I did with them used chapter books, and my kids learned about Scotland and Switzerland. And I will leave links to my videos that I made about those in the description box. But these books, I think, are actually better for my younger children because rather than being chapter books to read aloud to them, and I am big on literature-based learning, the story is built right into the unit study. And you read the story each day, and then you do the corresponding activities. Now, knowing me, since I am one of those people that I like to tweak things to fit our homeschool, and I am not one of those people that you're going to find doing like 7 activities every day to go with a unit study. Our number is 2. That's our magic number. We do 2 activities a day to go with the unit studies because I know that is what my kids can handle. Anything beyond that, they start to rooch around, their eyes glaze over, and the point of me educating my kids at home is for them to learn, and they're not going to learn if I am boring them to death by having them do too many things. So anyway, so that was New Zealand. Anyway, I'll just also show you, there are, there's little worksheets in here for them to do, which is going to be new to them because they don't have that with Beautiful Feet books. They have little coloring pages at the end, but for the most part, my kids are like, they will watch a video. Well, I will read a book, a living book about the country that they're learning about. They will watch a video, and then they will tell me some things that they remembered that I write on the board. They then copy those things down as copy work into their little notebooks. So them having worksheets is something that they have never really done other than some coloring pages. So I'm really excited to see what they think of this. So anyway, so that's for New Zealand. And then I have another Case of Adventure one, Destination Singapore. And it's the same premise, you know, it's just the story is right in the book, built right in the book. It's not a separate book like it was for my older kids. And as you can see, here's a little worksheet for them. It's a crossword puzzle. And yeah, I'm really excited because even though they're still going to be learning about places around the world, and it's still, you know, cross-curricular style, which I love, it's a little bit different than what they've been doing. So I think that they're going to appreciate just having a little bit of a change. And so will I. Now, for science. Now, first of all, obviously that covered geography. You're not going to see me breaking all of our subjects up. I am not someone who says, okay, for language arts we do this, and for math we do this, and for history we do this, and geography and health and science and art. I don't do that. Unit studies are cross-curricular, so I do tend to just kind of keep everything together. I will say, this is what we're doing for language arts, this is what we're doing for math, and then I pretty much lump everything else together because that comes together in the unit studies. So, one thing that I did not point out, yes, unit studies are cross-curricular. They will cover all subject areas. So they will cover history and geography and science and art and music. Now, a lot of people will not consider Around the World with Picture Books to be a unit study. It is actually Charlotte Mason style literature-based learning, but Around the World with Picture Books does cover social studies, and it covers art because it has them doing watercolor and origami and things like that. It covers science. They're learning about animals. So yes, Around the World with Picture Books to me is a unit study. In addition to those, though, we do nature study once a week. And so at this point, I should very quickly say that my kids do not do these unit studies every day. They do them twice a week. The way that we have our week broken down is my littles, and actually my middles are very similar to this, but since we're talking about my soon-to-be first and third graders, what we do now and what we will continue to do next year is that they will do the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, in addition to the unit study. And then the following day, they will do the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, and then the rest of the day will be spent doing self-directed learning because, again, it's that whole premise of playing is learning. I think it is crucial that kids have plenty of time to explore their own interests. So that is something that I really make sure I give to them. One thing that I did not point out is that read aloud is big in our home. So yeah, they will get a read aloud every single day, whether they are doing a unit study or whether they are just doing self-directed learning that day. There is a read aloud every single day. We will usually do a Bible story and then we will do another story. So they do unit study twice a week. They do self-directed learning and 3 R's twice a week. And then that 5th day is our nature study day. So I just picked up this handbook of nature study. I am so excited about this. Up until this point, our nature study has basically been usually like going to the park and like observing the trees, and then they play there, or we'll go to the creek and my kids will wade in the creek if it's warm enough, and then they will look for tadpoles and minnows and those sorts of things. But this handbook of nature study really gives them a more it gives me more solid activities to do with them. And when I ordered this online, I had never seen this in person. I had no idea it was this thick. It's going to take me forever to go through this, but I'm really excited to do it. And I'm going to try not to get overwhelmed by it and just to use it as a tool. That's what I always tell everybody. Your curriculum is a tool. It is not a Bible. You do not have to follow it to the T. Make it work for you. You don't have to work for it. Remember that. So, in addition to that handbook of nature study, I've decided that we are really going to focus, and this we started now, but it's going to continue at least into early next year, because our new school year starts in July. We only take a 6-week summer break. So since we'll be starting in July, for several months, we will be doing the same sort of nature study that we just started this past week, and that is on gardening. I really want my kids and myself to learn how to garden. I think it's crucial to know how to take care of yourself, to plant your own food. This is not something that I was ever taught, so it's something that I do want to try to instill in my own kids. It's going to be tough because I don't really have anyone to go alongside me to show me how to do it. I just don't know anyone who can help me in that way. So we're going to see. This is going to be our own experiment. Mom is going to be learning alongside the kids, but I picked up the Book of Gardening Projects for Kids, 101 Ways to Get Kids Outside, Dirty, and Having Fun. So I've got to tell you, when I saw this book on Amazon, the thing that got me to want to buy it was that it said 100 ways to get kids outside, dirty, and having fun. Because so often nowadays you have kids who are they're not outside. They're not getting dirty. They're in the house all the time, watching TV or on their phone. You don't see kids outside like you used to, and I want that for my children. Those are such fantastic memories of me being outside all the time when I was a kid. So we're looking forward to also incorporating this into our nature study, and our art will be incorporated into our unit studies. I did mention that art is covered in all of the unit studies that we will be doing. Same with music. I do know for a fact that in the Scotland and Switzerland unit studies that I did with my older kids by Case of Adventure, we sang Scotland the Brave, and the kids learned some songs in the Switzerland unit study, so music is covered. And I don't need to worry about covering physical education ever, because my kids are always bouncing off the walls. They are always outside, whether it's roller skating or swimming in our pool when it's summertime, or jumping on the neighbor's trampoline. Yeah, physical education is covered. That's not something that I ever have to worry about trying to structure into our homeschool day. So anyway, I think that I covered everything, all of our homeschool curriculum for my 1st and 3rd grader. I hope that I didn't confuse you, and I hope I gave you some ideas. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can try to leave one down below. If YouTube has finally stop disabling my comments. If they are still disabled, I will leave my link in the description box below. You can head on over to Instagram and you can ask me a question over there. If you have a question about the video, just leave it on any of my posts on Instagram. It doesn't matter. Just say, I was over on your video and I have a question about it. That's how you can reach me if you can't reach me in the comments. Also, if you like my work and would like to check out my Patreon page and see what rewards I have for my patrons there, like monthly unit study PDFs, monthly book lists, depending on your tier, I do exclusive videos. Again, I'll leave that link below. You can check that out. And I hope you have a great day.